Also, what has clicked for Jarnell? What does he maybe realize that's allow him to kind of, have this stretch of play and really continue it? Because he's done it before, but maybe he's, had one game good, another game bad. What's maybe clicked for him?
Well, I think to be specific and get the best answer, you got to ask him that. But I think, in my opinion, just offensively on the rebounding side, he's rebounding balls out of his area. He's going to get rebounds, and he's keeping those balls alive, which that was something he really didn't do last year, something he didn't do early in this season. I thought he did in the UMass game, but just going to get big rebounds, keeping it alive whether he gets it or not. So he's doing that part. But also he's improved his ability to score with his back to the basket. He has a pace to his game, and that's who he is. Some guys make very quick moves and they up and over you, but he has to get a pace, get a feel for the game. And I think for him that's fine. The guys have learned to adjust to that, because now it gives him an opportunity to see where the double team's coming from, whether it's coming or not. Now he can make his moves. So from that standpoint, he's been good. But also facing up, as a coaching staff, we had to find other ways to give him the ball. If you can't get on the blocks, then get him off the blocks. Or he's getting the ball at the top of the key and making plays, pick and pop and attacking from the wing. Like last night against the zone, we had him at the high post because he's a good passer. Now he can attack from that way. If they collapse, you find your shooters in the corners and up top. But also him being locked in and open to the fact we got to find other ways to get him involved in the offense, because it's not as easy as it looks for him to just say throw it inside to when guys are hovering around him.
From the tactical stuff of understanding angles, knowing how to use his size, how much, what's the next step? How much more room for growth is there?
Well, I think once again, as an individual player, when you want to be the best, especially when you can see signs say I can be one of the best, if not the best, then there's the next push to dominate games. Whether there's 2 or 3 guys on you or not, it still doesn't affect your play, how you perform. And you more or less put guys on your back and you win games. And I think that's one of the things that Glenn Robinson did at Purdue. He impacted the game and dominated. It didn't matter who was guarding him, at what situation, what time in the game. He was a major threat every time down. And ultimately, the guys around him became better basketball players because of that. And I think that's the area we're moving into as a team, identifying that this is the guy, that you have to go through in order to have a high level of success. But it's also the work that he's putting in. I couldn't have said that at the beginning of the season. Now, you'd like to think, projecting-wise, he'd have been there, but he wasn't at that level. But now he's a guy, okay, every time down, we can put the ball in his hands to make plays. And when he's making free throws, I just don't see many guys that can just one-on-one can stop him.
He said after the game, I don't want to take plays off anymore. How much on film or whatever, how much of an issue has that been in your eyes?
Well, it's a fact. I wouldn't necessarily say it's an issue, because everybody has to grow. And I always go back to, as a coach, the thing I have to be patient with. Coach Katie wanted me to be a good shooter, but I didn't learn to shoot till my junior year of college. And everybody grows at their own pace. In his case, it's things we talked about. You got to play hard all the time. You can't take possessions off. You got to compete on both ends of the floor. And once again, it's a matter of you seeing it, visualizing, understand, okay, now let's do it. But it's got to be consistent. If it doesn't start in practice, there's no way it's going to start in the game for you, because you have to program your body to practice at a certain level. So game time is somewhat easy.
He doesn't have a very demonstrative personality. How hard is it, I guess, for a player who has a personality type that he does to be that, play mean, be a kind of like a bulldog?
Well, the one thing he's not a soft basketball player, so that's the good part about it. I just think that's been his demeanor. It's not a case of I'm going to be a certain way when I step on the court. I think that's who he is. But he has a toughness level to him. You see it sometimes in practice, and you see it in the game, but his facial expression, you don't know if we're up 20, down 20, because it never changes. In some ways, that's a good thing, because he keeps a level of composure to him. But I just think that's who he is. But what he's done, he's able to impact games that way. But the thing I try to tell him now is the next step, because the great ones, they're able to hold their own, so to speak. They know every night going to this game, I'll get this. This is my production. Now it's the next guy. Now Jarnell has to say to himself, I got to be able to get Skylar 6 open 3-point shots. I got to be able to get this for this guy. And now all of a sudden, the double team doesn't come as easy, because those other guys have stepped their level of play up because of his production.
Kevin Stone said that he thought that Stokes was playing like a first-round draft pick. Do you agree with that?
I hope so. I mean, that's his plan. I mean, God bless him to be that one to be that. He's playing well.
Do you think it's a coincidence that he's had 5 straight double-doubles since you alerted the SEC office about some marginal doubles?
I don't know. I just think it's Jarnell's play. I think he's played differently. I mean, I do. Like I said, I go back to the Alabama game at Alabama. I thought he. I mean, yes, I thought he was aggressive in trying to post and trying to play hard. And I thought he played well here against Memphis. And I don't know if there's a case of really a hometown team. But at Alabama, I thought he was trying to post and make plays, but foul trouble in the Florida game just didn't go his way. I just think at that particular point it was a case of him, growing as a basketball player, being aggressive, being assertive, and the things I'll talk to him about it. You take the game. If you think the officials are making a certain call or not making a certain call, then take the game out of their hands. You take control of the game. And those are the things I talk about. But I've never been one to blame officials. I think they do a great job, and the game wouldn't be at the level it is without good officiating. So I'm not saying that. But the thing I try to tell them, like I tell all our players, then take the officials out of the game if you think they're doing something wrong.